Good morning. Welcome to Mindful Movement Mondays. We're about to get started. I'm going to give it another minute because I think I'm expecting someone, so I don't want to start before she gets here. As always, make sure you have your folded blanket or towel and a block. Let's see. Okay. Think I hear someone. Here she comes. So hopefully you're joining us live this morning. This practice is intended to be a morning practice. However, it is a great practice for any time of the day. You could even come home from work and do this to kind of recenter, rebalance at the end of your day. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. I really think Kelly's supposed to be here. But if she comes, she can come in and join us mid-class. That will be fine. So everybody we're going to start laying on your back. Now, I have my hair pulled up. And if you have a ponytail in, I recommend shifting it around so that you can lay with the back of your head flat on the floor, on the mat. And just place your feet flat on the mat with your knees to the ceiling. And we're going to take our hands and place them over our hip points, the little bony processes right here. And even if you don't feel bony processes, because of your tissues, they're still there. And your fingertips will be pointing towards your pubic bone and your thumbs will be pointing towards each other, kind of making a big, wide triangle. And we're going to just rest here for a moment. Let your elbows be soft down onto the mat beside you. Soften through the belly, soften through the back, just letting everything settle in, contacting your feet to the mat. And let your eyelids close, bringing your awareness into your breath. The breath will be our guide today as we move through our practice. So taking a few moments to witness how the breath moves through the body now will help along the way as you see how it shifts and changes. Noticing how it feels under your hands as your belly rises and falls. Now I want you to bring your attention into your exhale. Let it linger, let it hold a little bit longer, and you may start to notice that to maintain that exhale and to keep it flowing out, you have to take a little bit of pressure in the belly and just allow that to naturally happen. As you inhale, you soften the belly, release any pressure, make space. As you exhale, let your belly button sink lower and lower and lower until you pull in that pelvic floor and the low belly starts to tighten to press the last bit of air all the way out. And then inhale. Notice with your hands, as you're exhaling and you're firming that low belly to press the air out, your pubic bone will naturally start to shift slightly up towards your navel. You may not feel that, and that's okay. it takes time for it to start to become something that you can notice and feel. We're working on our interoception today, as always. So noticing what is going on within the body and also noticing how it feels in the body. Now bring your hands down by your side, palms are down. Inhale, float the arms all the way up over the head. Remembering as you inhale, you soften the belly. Open the rib cage, make lots of space. Tap the back of the hands on the floor behind you. As you exhale, belly draws together, feeling like you're pulling the pubic bone and the bottom of the ribs towards each other as you float your hands back down. Inhale, up. Float the hands slowly, big, deep inhale. Think about lengthening. Think about stretching. Exhale, gather. Think about pulling your arms down with the strength of your core, not with your arms. Of course, your arms are doing some of the work, right? But you want to really feel that in your belly, that pull together. This is our last one. And exhale, pull it down. Now we're going to do it again. I know I said that was the last one, but this time we're going to add the legs. So take a moment. Reset your breath. Then on your next inhale, lift your toes, slide the heels away, float the hands up. Big full stretch. Exhale, bring everything back together. Really feel it coming together in the belly. Inhale, reach, stretch. Exhale, belly draws in. Last one, and this time we're going to hold it. As you exhale, feel your belly still draw in a little bit, but just soften through the rest of the body. Let everything kind of hang. And then inhale, reach. Reach heels away, reach fingertips away. And exhale, relax, soften. Now I want you to take your right hand and put it into your left hand and take your right ankle and cross it over your left ankle. So just a very small, gradual kind of lateral bend here. Your head may float towards the left a little bit. Just continuing to take deep inhales. And exhale, release and soften. Do about 3 breaths on this side. And then exhale back to center. And then we'll take the left hand, place it over the right hand, and the left ankle over the right ankle. As you inhale, you stretch. And as you exhale, you soften. Noticing if one side feels different from the other. And they should naturally feel different, coming apart. We'll do 2 more here in the center. Exhale, release. Inhale, stretch. This time as you exhale, draw it all back to center. Release. And just witness the body for a moment. How does all of that feel? If you're doing this with me in the morning, hopefully that feels nice, like you're just waking up. If you're doing this after work or in the evening, hopefully it feels like a nice way to kind of reconnect. Now we're going to take our feet a little bit wider. And just gently sway the knees from side to side, only going down about 50% here. And there's no real need for breath pattern. Just take it nice and slow. And what I want you to be noticing is the back of the pelvis, the lumbar spine, the sacrum, as they slide and kind of rock across the mat. Starting to loosen up through the hips, taking a gentle twisting motion here. And then coming back to center, bring the feet back towards each other. You want your heels generally in line with your sits bones. And then we'll bring one knee up. Keep the other leg straight and take your hands, kind of latch them together behind the back of your leg. From here, you're going to inhale, press the heel towards the ceiling and lengthen out through the spine like you're trying to take the crown of your head back towards the wall behind you and your heel towards the ceiling. And it's okay if your leg doesn't straighten all the way. Exhale, let the knee float towards the chest and relax, belly draws in. Inhale, reach. Exhale to soften. So even a little bit of a chin tuck on that inhale as you reach, lengthening out through the whole spine. So think about your whole back line getting nice and long. And then you kind of exhale, release everything. Okay, that was our last one. Put your leg down and take a moment. Notice how that felt. Notice the activation through the back line. Notice the leg. And then we'll bring up the left side. Same thing. Inhale, reach the heel towards the ceiling. Lengthen out through the spine. This is a bit of a hamstring opener, but we're not trying to draw our toes towards our face, right? This isn't about pulling your leg towards you. This is about straightening that leg up towards the ceiling and finding that length through the back line. And that strength, we're activating the muscles across the back of the leg and all along the spine. And exhale, bring it all the way down. And then notice how you feel having done both sides. If there's any differences from one side to the other. And then we'll bring both knees up, yeah? So you don't have to latch your hands behind both of your knees here. That may be uncomfortable. You can just hold on to your legs. And if your knees need to be wide, that's okay too. And as you inhale, pressing both heels up, lengthen out through the spine. Exhale, soften. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to soften one more time. Inhale. Feel those hamstrings lengthening, your spine getting taller. And exhale, bring it all the way down. Taking a moment here, noticing how the body feels. Turn your hands, palms down by your hips. Activate through the feet, feeling them connecting to the floor beneath you. Take a deep inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, press and lift the hips just about a quarter of the way. Exhale, roll through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, to bring the hips back down. Inhale, press and lift the hips about halfway. Exhale to roll through the spine to bring the hips back down. Inhale, press and lift all the way up. And exhale, roll through the spine all the way down. Now we're going to come back the other direction. So we'll go all the way up. Inhale, press and lift. Rolling down. Take deep, long breaths here. Take your time. Inhale, press and lift halfway. Notice how that changes. You're still using the muscles, maybe even just as hard, if not harder, to hold and stop there instead of going to the full extension. And then notice as you press and just barely lift what muscles it takes to activate Exhale, roll back down. Very nice. Bring your knees up. Give your back a little love, whatever feels right for you. Maybe it's rocking side to side. Maybe it's forward and back. Maybe it's both. Okay. Awesome. Now we're going to come up to a seated position. And as always, I recommend rolling onto your side and sitting up slowly, or you can rock and roll all the way up, whatever feels good to you. For a seated position, please grab your folded blanket or a towel and pull it up underneath you. I am so glad I remembered my water today. Did I not? Oh my God, I had it in here and I took it back out. That's fine. I'll be fine. I feel like I could move that a little bit better. Hold on. Still working this out with the camera angle thing. I want to put a shelf in here. Anywho. So we're going to sit on our blanket in a comfortable seated position. And as always, your comfortable seated position may not look the same as my comfortable seated position. This is your comfortable seated position time. So if it is just regular old crisscross applesauce, or maybe you feel better with your legs out straight, that's fine. As long as you're able to sit up tall, so you're not slouching down. That's the ideal here. So finding a place where you can sit up nice and tall. If you are doing cross-legged and you're finding your knees are up really high, grabbing a block, 2 blocks, and placing them up underneath your legs can be very helpful to support so that you can find yourself sitting nice and tall. We're going to bring our hands over our chest. Cross one hand over the other and pay attention. Pay attention. So right now I have my right hand over my left. Sit up nice and tall. Slightly tuck the chin. Reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Ground down through the tailbone and feel the low belly drawing in on your exhales. On your next inhale, open your arms. Elbows stay bent just to about shoulder height with the hands. Open through the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together. Lift the chin. Lift the eyes to look up. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart and swap which one is on top. Returning to this straight position. Inhale, open, lift the sternum, lift the chin, lift the eyes. Exhale, swap again. Inhale, open. Exhale, draws it in. One more time. Remember, eye gaze lifts, spirits lift. So looking up. And exhale, draws it back in, switching hands. And pause here. Notice your spine. Notice the feeling of the hands on the chest. And now we're going to come into 4-point stance. And I'm going to take off my sweater. I think I finally got it warm enough in here. For 4-point stance, you can always use a folded blanket under your knees or not. Maybe you want one under your wrists. That's fine too. Making sure hands are nice and wide, fingers spread out, wrists are under shoulders, and knees are under hips. Inhale. Exhale, draw the belly in. Navel comes towards the spine. Pubic bone comes towards the navel, taking your spine into alignment. Once you find this nice flat position, stay. Pelvis will not move. On your next inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale, slide the hips back towards the heels. Elbows come down, forehead comes down. Inhale, pelvis stays in alignment. So we're not dropping into a cow where we let the belly totally fall down and the tailbone lifts and all that jazz. This is gentle. protects the low back. And it still has the same benefit of flexion and extension in the spine. And on our next exhale, come all the way down to child's pose and stay. As always, if child's pose is not a comfortable position for you, you can sit. We'll take a few moments here to pause and feel the breath, noticing the breath moving up into the back. On your next inhale, returning back to our 4-point stance. Shift your weight over to your right hand and slide your left hand out, then slide your right toes away. Taking a little stretch maybe on the right calf, that's always nice. On your next inhale, lift. And even if you need to stay really low with it, that's fine. But try and lift them off the ground, even just a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale, draw elbow to knee, pull the navel up. Deep flexion in the spine. Inhale, reach back out. Nice and slow. Exhale. Inhale, reach back out. Exhale in. That's our last one. If you can't touch your elbow to your knee, that's totally fine. Inhale back up. And exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift head, lift chest. Exhale, hips over heels, and pause. In this pause, I want you to take a moment, notice how your spine feels, notice how your hands feel, notice your shoulders and your hips. Inhale to come back up. Finding that good alignment, shift your weight to your left hand, slide your right hand out and your left heel away. Inhale to lift. Inhale here. Exhale, draw knee and elbow in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draws it in. Inhale, lift. Exhaling in. And inhale up. Exhale, bring it back down. And inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. We're going to do 2. Exhale, back down into child's pose. Inhaling up. Lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale down into child's pose for our pause. And again, if child's pose, you can find any child's pose that feels comfortable for you. And if child's pose just does not feel comfortable for you, just sit and notice how your body feels. Notice how your head feels. Notice how your spine feels. Notice your hands and your hips. Okay. Now we're going to come to standing. Yep. We're standing this week. I think the last time I taught a Monday morning class, we didn't even get off the floor. Okay, I'm going to unplug my heater because it's warm in here now. And I don't want to pass out. Okay, there we go. And then again with the camera thing. See, I shouldn't have touched it. Now I'm annoyed. Oh my God, if it falls, I'm going to laugh. That's okay. You may not be able to see my head, so whatever. You'll know it's there. Okay, so we are going to find our mountain pose. Feet generally under hips. Wiggle the fingers, nice and soft, and soften the knees. I want to bend in your knees that is micro bend, something that you can feel, but I couldn't see. Allow that pubic bone to gently lift towards the navel, firming the low belly and taking the tailbone nice and long. And reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Bring your hands to your chest. One hand over the other, right over your heart. Notice which hand is on top. You know what's coming. On your next inhale, open, lift the chest, lift the chin, lift the eyes. Exhale, draw it all the way back in. Switching hands. Inhale, open. Exhale, back in. Inhale to open. And exhale back in. We'll pause here. You can either keep your hands over your heart or let them come back down by your side. Notice how your chest feels. Notice how your shoulders feel, how your hands feel. And then we're going to step our feet apart just a little bit farther than hips, maybe to shoulders, maybe a little bit past, whatever feels good for you. Soften the knees. And then we're going to bring one arm up like a cactus arm, like we're waving hello. On your next inhale, you're going to reach that arm across towards in line with the other foot. And straighten out the leg on that same side. Inhale, and then let this other hand slide down the leg. Exhale, bring it back. And there's a very soft bend. We're not like in a true goddess squat, just a little bit of a bend. Inhale to reach. Exhale, back down. Inhale to reach. And hold here. As you exhale, kind of soften through the arms. As you inhale, reach. Exhale to soften. Inhale to reach. And exhale all the way back to your single cactus arm. And then release the hand down by your side. And take a pause. You can straighten your legs out a little bit. Keep that micro bend. Noticing that side of the body, noticing the space all along the rib cage, between the ribs and the pelvis, maybe along down the outside of the leg, maybe the shoulder, the hand. And then we'll bring the other arm up, cactus arms, waving hello. And bend the knees a little bit. Inhale, reach across the body. To really just in line so that if I were to drop a string down from my hand, it wouldn't go past my foot. Exhale, back down. Inhale to reach. Exhaling down. Inhale to reach. Exhaling down. Last one, we're going to hold. And exhale here. Just kind of soften through the arm a little bit. Inhale to reach. I'm going to turn and face the camera. There we go. How's that? That's a little bit. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale all the way back down into our cactus arm. And then release. Hand down by your side. And we'll stay in our wide leg position for a pause. Noticing now the sides evened out. Keeping that nice micro bend in the knees. We're going to inhale, float the arms out to the side, all the way up, crossing at the wrist. And exhale, hinge at the hips, float the arms out to the side. Stay firm in the belly, coming down and crossing at the wrist. Switching hands if you so desire. Inhale through a flat back, all the way up. Cross at the wrist. Exhale all the way down. Belly stays firm. Inhale. Let those elbows kind of lead the way, activating the muscles around the spine. And exhale all the way down. Inhale up. We'll stay standing. And exhale, the hands come back down. Take a pause. Inhale, float the arms up. Cross or not, it doesn't matter. You can just bring your palms together. As you exhale and come down, we're going to take one hand to the opposite ankle or knee, if that's as far as you can go. And the other hand is going to reach up towards the sky behind you. And maybe you want to turn and look. Yeah? Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way back up. Palms can touch. Exhale, we're going to go to the other side. So taking that hand across to the opposite knee, shin, ankle, reach the opposite arm up behind you. Look. Inhale all the way up. Exhale back to the first side. If you're getting all the way down to the ankle, reach for the outside of the ankle. Inhale to come back up. If you made it to your knee the first time around, this time reach for your shin. Seeing if you can go just a little bit deeper. Keep a nice soft bend in the knees. Inhaling all the way up. Last round, we're going to do one more time on each side. Going as deep as you can on this one. Maybe even taking your hand all the way to the ground, outside the foot. Inhaling up. Palms kiss and exhale, float the arms down. Bring your feet together, or under the hips at least. Soften the knees. Wiggle your fingers and pause. On your next inhale, float the arms up out to the side. Palms come together over your head. As you exhale, bring the palms down through the center. Hinge at the hips and soften the knees to sit back into a chair. Hands come to your heart. Staying in this position, inhale, bring your hands up, touch your brow with your thumbs. Exhale, bring your hands back down to your heart. So a chair can be very small and still be very effective. Make sure you're pulling the belly in. Inhale, touch your hands to your brow. Exhale, hands to your heart. Lengthen out through the spine. So we're not like in an extension and we're not curled over. Thinking tall and long. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale to the heart. One more breath, holding here. This time stand all the way up, press out through the heels, reach the hands up. And exhale, float the arms down by your side. Mountain pose, soft fingers, soft gaze, looking down at the floor, knees are soft, noticing how the body feels. Notice the breath. Notice that feeling of energy flowing through you as you move your body today. Tuning into those sensations. Oh yeah. All right, now we're going to step one foot in front of the other. Keep the hips not directly in front of train tracks, okay? And you want both toes facing forward, generally speaking. It's okay if you have to have a little bit of a turnout in the back leg. Not a big deal. And we don't need a huge space. I'm going to turn to the side. We don't need a huge space here. We do want our block, though. So grab your block or balakasa and place it down next to your foot. Tuck the tailbone down, reaching down. Pull the pubic bone up. Hips are both facing in the same direction, so we're not opening to the side here. Yeah. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, reach forward. Let the hips go back behind you as you hinge all the way down to your block. You can soften your front knee if you'd like to. If you don't have a block, you can always reach for your shins. But really, why don't you have a block? Get a block. They're so easy to get. You order it on Amazon. Inhale. As you inhale, think about lengthening through the spine and the back of the leg, bringing the chest down towards the knee. Both legs are straight. As you exhale, soften, maybe a little rounding. Belly draws in. Inhale, lengthen, pressing the hips out behind you. Exhale to soften. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften. Inhale, keep your knees soft, reaching out. Press all the way up. And exhale, step together for our pause. Notice how that feels. Noticing that side, the hamstring, noticing the glutes from one side to the other. Okay, now we're going to switch sides. Step the feet apart. Toes face the same direction. Hips are facing forward. Microphone's still on. Everything's going well. Excellent. Straighten out both knees. You can soften the front knee a little bit as you come down. If that helps, inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Reach the hips behind you. Belly draws in. Exhale over. Again, you can soften that knee if you need to. Inhale, reach. Coming back up. And exhale over. I suddenly cannot remember if we did this on the other side. Did we reach? Did we come up and down on the other side? I feel like we didn't. Oh well. We're doing it on this side. Exhale down. And then hold in your posture here. As you inhale, lengthen, draw the chest down, straighten out through the leg as best you can. If you can't straighten your leg out all the way, that's fine. Be where you're at. As you exhale, draw the belly in, round, soften a little bit. Inhale, lengthen. Inhale to lengthen. Maybe getting a little farther down with each one, and if not, that's okay too. Inhale, reach it out and up. And exhale, step together. Taking a little pause here, noticing how that side feels, noticing how hopefully you feel more evened out. Inhale, float the arms up to the front. Exhale, soften the knees, hinge at the hips, come straight down. Inhale, reach the arms up, press out through the heels, come all the way up. We're here for 3. Exhale over. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale over. Maybe finding a little abduction in the thighs. That's always nice. And last one. Exhale, float the arms down. And pause. How do your hips feel? Low back, quads, hamstrings, glutes. Just noticing all around that area. The heat that we're generating. Noticing that prana, that energy flowing through you. And now, all the way down to the floor. Let's see. There. Is that good? The back here is better. Back here is better. Okay, so we are going to tuck the forehead down to the floor. Take your hands behind you. palms down. Toes are reaching out behind you. And I'm going to lift my head so that I can talk easier, but you keep your head down. As you exhale here, feel that draw in of the low belly. Like you're pressing the pubic bone down, like you're pressing the tailbone down. And just kind of settle in. Now we're going to go for a full locust here. If that is not something that's in your practice, skip the legs. If you have low back discomfort and issues, you know, this is meant to be gentle and it's meant to be helpful. So if something is hurting you, it's neither of those things. So don't do it. Be good to yourself. That's what this practice is about today. So nobody wins in yoga. Just, you know, we're not in a competition here, in other words. So just go ahead and do what feels right for your body. On your next inhale, lift your head, lift your shoulders, let the hands come up, reach the thumbs up towards the ceiling so the palms face out, and maybe lift the heels. Press the tailbone down, exhale, drawing everything back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Nice and slow. Inhale, lift. And we're going to hold. As you exhale, feel yourself kind of lower a little bit, like a little soft. As you inhale, lift higher. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Pulling the shoulder blades, the scapula down the back, drawing them together as you inhale, opening through the chest. Exhale, soften. Last one. Inhale, reach. Make it a good one. And exhale all the way back down. This time you can bring your hands up underneath your forehead. We're just going to take a couple breaths here to notice how that feels. Noticing the spine, noticing the low back, noticing the thoracic spine between the scapula. How does that feel? As we squeezed our scapula together. Just taking a moment here. Now we're going to flip right on over. Roll onto your back. Oh, yeah. And of course, what would feel really good right now? Knees to chest. That's right, baby. Bring them up. So as you inhale, think about taking that space in the belly. So get your knees, let them go farther away. Keep your hands in contact with the knees, the elbows straighten. As you exhale, that low belly draws in. Pubic bone pulls up towards the navel. The knees will naturally float toward your chest. Inhale. And maybe you want to make space between your knees. That's nice too. Exhale. Inhale to open. Exhale. You could take this at your own breath pattern too. You don't have to be following my breath pattern exactly. Another fun one is to take your knees together as you inhale. Exhale, let them fall open as they sink closer to the body. Inhale, open. Now the hip joint is doing a little bit here, but most of it is really pelvic rocking. I exaggerate a little bit for the sake of demonstration, but it's not necessary to move your knees all that much. Just a couple more rounds of breath in whatever way feels good for you. And then I want you to just find some comfortable rocking. Maybe circles with the knees. If you're doing circles, go both directions. And then we're going to take just the left leg down. Take the left hand to the right knee and let it slide across the body. And now here's a good place for a block. If your knee hovers here, that's not nice. You want to put a block underneath your knee so that you can kind of rest it down. And taking your right hand out away from your body, and bring your foot out away from your body too. We don't want the left leg to be totally curled up, so keeping it straight. And you want your right shoulder to stay connected to the mat. So if you need to come back off a little bit to keep your shoulder down, do that. And the right palm is down. The left hand can stay in a supportive position. I'm going to have to lower my block, I think. If it feels good for your neck, you can always turn and look over the right shoulder as well. Bring your awareness into your spine, sending it love, sending it compassion, sending it gratitude for all it does for us every day. Gently rolling back. I like to bring my knee up towards my chest first and roll back onto my back. Bring both knees up. Switch sides. Take your time. You know what to do here. Use the right hand to guide the left knee across the body and onto a block or a cushion. Cushion feels good here too. Keeping that right leg straight, left hand out. And maybe looking over the left shoulder. Noticing if you're continuing to hold tension in this posture, what can you do to help find yourself in a state of more relaxation? If you're holding tension, then you may need to grab a prop. Sometimes it's good to hold tension in this posture, but for today, we're finding rest. Bringing awareness into the spine, sending that love, compassion and gratitude to this place in our body from which everything stems. Draw your knee up to towards your chest. Inhale to roll back. Onto your back. Both knees come up. Finding a couple rounds of Apanasana. And then settling into your Shavasana position. Let your hands fall away from your body, palms to face up. Taking your legs out long. And of course, always the option to put a cushion underneath your knees to protect the low back. Close your eyes. And feel your body sinking in. Imagine literally allowing yourself to melt into the mat beneath you. Or maybe imagining the ground softening as you sink into it. Taking a moment to feel that support. And feel that energy flowing through your body. It can feel like heat. It can feel like tingles. It can feel like electric. Whatever it feels like for you. Notice it all the way from the tips of your toes and your fingers to the top of your head. Rest in that feeling. Soften into that space and bring your awareness to your breath. We'll stay with the breath for a few minutes. I hear from people that this is their favorite part of a yoga class. And as you're at home watching this video, I invite you to press pause or stop it completely and allow yourself to stay here for another 10 minutes, 15, 20, as long as you can, as long as your life allows. And I can promise you whatever is out there waiting for you will wait while you rest. Stay with the breath as much as you can. And when it's time to get up, take your time, be gentle with yourself. Bring movement slowly into the body, starting with the fingers and toes, and gently stretching. And when you're ready to sit, taking your time, rolling onto your side to bring yourself up to a seated position to finish your practice today. But of course, I hope you decided to stay in Shavasana for another 20 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.